out there. I hope you can hear me. I hope I've started up live. I'm assuming I have. I don't know. I can't tell. So let's hope so. I'm going to look around here first and see if everything's going. It looks like I should be doing a live video at this point. I'm trying to confirm. I think things are a little bit behind maybe. But meanwhile, while I confirm that this has actually gone live, let me see what I got here. All right, bear with me. Okay, it looks like I am live according to this. I don't see it. Let's see here. Do I see anything? I do not. So I'm not sure I'm live or not. It's supposedly on. I'm supposedly streaming, but I don't really see myself. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right, I guess I am on live now. Thank you. Thanks for joining me. My microphone is in a bad spot, so I'm still working the kinks out of this thing. But welcome. How y'all doing today? This is my setup here today. I've got a blank canvas set up for you here. This is the picture we're going to be doing today. Blank canvas. Up here in the corner, I have a right here. I have a still shot of the palette that I'm using, which is actually right here. But I just wanted you to be able to see it a little clearer. And then, of course, right up on over here, that is my website that you can go to whenever you'd like to and go check out my artwork, paulvincentiart.com. All right. So today I'm going to start with drawing this drawing first. I did a couple little tick marks in here. You probably can't barely see them, but basically I'm going to start. There's a bit of a curve up here, and so I'm just going to lightly do it. There it is, a little bit of a curve right there, and then there's another one that comes around over here and kind of comes down and maybe banks in this way, leaves a little leaf here. Now this flower is pretty tricky here. So I'm going to try to cut him in. We're going to go with the, oops, look at that. Right off the bat, my pencil breaks. That's why you have your handy pencil sharpener. That's just the way those things go. I'm not worried about it. We'll sharpen that pencil up. Cheap pencil, that's why. Probably a break on me again. And but meanwhile, I'm just going to go ahead and try to get in that back leaf there. And the start of that leaf. Now there's a leaf that comes, let's see, the next one forward would be this leaf here. Meanwhile, I want to try to make sure underneath I'm getting this piece here coming up to about this point here. So I know that we're getting edge of that flower. There goes that lead again. It sure did break on me again. Golly. I practiced with it. It didn't seem to break. Now it's breaking left and right. Isn't that nice during a live show? That's okay. You live with it. This is what happens. Believe me. Now that one's in back of another one. This one's coming in front, so I want to paint it that way or draw it that way. And it'll be a little taller than that other one. So maybe I'll reduce this one down a little bit. And there's going to be another bigger one. Come right up through here. And then there's one back here. This guy might come up a little higher. Maybe this guy a little higher. Then we got another. See, behind we've got one. And right here, we got one kind of in the back here. And then down here is where we got the other stuff that's behind. So I'm going to go right about here, take that back bottom leaf there. And then once again, we got one in front and then another one in front. There's a little tick mark that I had there. And then there's a big one up in front here. And I can kind of bring these around and kind of go like that. Now, we got some foreshortened ones here. This one's in back. Let's do that one. I've got that one. Got one. I'm going to come up here and behind. Another one right there. Another one here. And we got one right here. One right over here. And then you got a foreshortened one right down here. And then we've got this little curly green piece that comes up down here. And there's that big one that comes off the bottom. And then there's a little piece that comes underneath and a little trunk. So there's most of the flower. Now in here I'm going to hit a bright spot here so I remember to get that good and white. and then there's going to be some things coming off of there, and that's going to kind of almost overlap into that leaf there a little bit. So I'm going to do that right there. So we got a kind of a light drawing. I don't know if you can even see what I'm doing, but in any case, I'm having fun. We got a little leaf that's kind of spilling up over here. It's kind of like that. Then we've got a big key spot right here where there's a piece that dips down here. So I'm going to kind of take that almost up to there, and then we're going to kind of traipse it across. And then this guy kind of comes over and does a thing. That's a little pour on the curve right there. I'm going to kind of curve it up like that. There's a center right around here. So make sure I keep track of where that is. And we've got a kind of a rough edge. A little something there. It's coming up. Now there's another key part right here where this guy kind of puckers up right there, and he's folding up over, and then that leaf is coming over a little bit, and then it's curled up under here. So this leaf folds over right here, right there. That's a little fold over. Got a couple of spines to indicate that. That center is about here, so I'm going to take that leaf there. This is going to come around, and then there's kind of a loose, kind of veiny leaf back here. Okay, so let's see, we got some spirals coming out this way. That goes like that. Okay, and then there's another part of the leaf that kicks up over here underneath it, folds over. All right, and then there's a good highlights in here, right in there, some strong highlights there, of course here, right in here, and a little edge right there. There's some highlight over here, some highlight over here. And the reason I'm doing that is just to remind me. Now I'm going to take the paintbrush, and I'm going to get some white paint, and I'm going to paint in. Well, actually, no, we're going to start with the background. That's right. I'm sorry, I got ahead of myself there. So now what I'm going to do is paint in all this area that's kind of around this leaf. Now I made them a little fat, but it doesn't matter. It's my painting. Still looks nice. That leaf could be opened up more like that. So I'm going to come over here. Now there's a lot of reflection and stuff in the water I'm seeing, but it's mostly dark. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with some, I mixed up some good darks. Those darks are going to be kind of right in, let's see if I can figure out how to point on this thing. Right there, right there. That's one of the dark colors I'm going to be using. All right, so I'm going to come over and I'm going to grab it. It's pretty thin. I thinned it out. I'm using a flat, about a 1-inch flat. And I'm going to come in and I'm just going to kind of just paint that right in. I know you can't see it. It's dark on dark, but that's okay. You got to paint the oil in there because eventually I'm going to put some blends in there. Now I'm going to try to be fairly accurate around the edges here. With that flat, I'm going to try to cut it in. I know you guys probably can't even see what I'm doing yet, but you'll see this painting come to life as we're working on it. I want to thank anybody who is joining me today for joining me. I've got a little brown mixed in there just to kind of lighten up some tone. I know some people watched my show last night that I was on with Mark B. Lee. That was a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun seeing my old friends on that show. My buddy Craig White's been doing some nice live shows. Really excellent musician. Really a treat to watch. I've missed the last couple of nights because I've had my own things that I'm doing. But meanwhile, he comes on usually at 9:30. His name is Craig White. Cragger. Craig White. And he's a phenomenal guitar player. Hell of a nice guy. A lot of fun to listen to, and his banter is great and all that. So good fun. So I've kind of filled in just some of this area. Now there's more reflection coming off in here and whatnot. But in order for it to give something to play off of, I'm going to go ahead and paint in just very lightly. I'm going to kind of lighten the pressure on this just to feather some in there. I don't really want too much. I don't want a big thick area like this here, but I don't want nothing either. I want something to blend into. So there's that. All right, same thing in here. I'm just going to have something to blend into just very lightly. And then there's a lot of, just very lightly, right in there, right to the edge of this leaf here. We'll come in and we'll cut those other ones pretty good. Try to cut them nice. Now I see some kind of a more of a darker bluish area in here. So I'm going to kind of kick that right there. Just got a little bit more blue in it. And I know it's just dark on dark right now, but believe me, it'll shape up. It'll shape up nice. It'll shape up real nice. All right, I'm going to kind of come like that. Shorten that flower out there. Maybe kill a little bit of this on this end. That's a little bit just to give them a little more balance there. There we go. I like that better. Maybe kill that guy down just a little bit too. All right. I don't know if you can hear me or not. I guess I'm hoping I can be heard. Let me see if I'm singing anything back on Facebook. I don't know if I'm getting anything or not, really. In the end, I really just don't know. I'm hoping that you guys can hear me. And like I said, I'm still new to this, so we'll see how things go. But I'm trying my best, and that's the key. The key is just to keep trying. That's all you can do. All right. I can't see anything there, so I don't know what's going on. All right. If anybody's there, well, thank you for joining me. All right. Once again, I'm just going to very lightly put in some of this because as I'm working down in here, there's going to be some more reflection. So I'm not going to hit that paint very hard. I'm just going to kind of lightly put it in there. Now, I don't mind putting some darks down in this corner where it's kind of vignetting off the edge. Some of the darks also, I can kind of work a little patches of dark, even though there's not much, I'm not hitting it real hard with paint. I can at least get some darks underneath there, so when I put in other paint, it's going to blend in a little bit. Now, one area I'm going to watch that dark real trickly here is I'm going to watch, really pay attention to where this shadow is coming off of this leaf. And it's coming on, and there's going to be a little teeny dip there. Yep. I'm going to come over here, and that shadow is going to come right up under there. Just like that. Maybe peel it off of there. And I just want that there. Same thing with some darks here. I just want that there so I can, like I said, have some colors to blend into. Okay, I know you didn't see a lot of action there. That was just darks and whatnot, so probably you're still mostly looking at what seemingly appears to be a black canvas, but I've actually got drawing and painting going on here already. And let's see, get that on. There we go. All right, now I'm going to start working in some colors, some reflective colors. There's some deep blues and dark browns and almost a kind of a weird rose color. So I'm going to work some of that color over here. It starts reflecting up under the leaf here. And I'm going to just grab, here, let me thin that paint on a little bit. So stay on there a little bit better, blend a little better. There we go. And I'm going to kind of follow a little bit on what I see on the actual photograph here. And but I'm going to be loose about it. I'm not going to go crazy with it. Like I said, I don't pay too much attention to how accurate I'm being to the photograph. That's really not important at this point. What's important is getting the feeling of what you're painting. Now over in here, I noticed that the reflection kicks up a little bit more, and you got a little bit more of a lighter color that I've brought in. Once again, on my palette, that's probably let's see if I can get there. I don't know if I can even do this way. It's up in the top corner right there. That color right up in there. I got a mix of colors there. Now that comes right off of the leaf here. I'm going to try to be careful not to just go all the way down the side and hit it all together. Then it's going to look like it's not behind there. So there's some of this, and then it comes down and it dips down into this point right here. There we go. And maybe a little bit more, a couple of highlights there, and then there's some over here. Now as it pulls more paint off, I can come over here and do more subtle reflections as it pulls more paint off, you see? And I can make some shapes in here and whatnot. And now I can take that whole area and kind of go over and make it like water and just kind of blend it over like this a little bit. I'm not going to worry about going over that other leaf there or all that. I'm going to cut back in over that. But that softens it and it makes it look a little bit more like the photo looks. Got a little bit of a soft reflection in there. There we go. I can probably sneak in some, changes in value down in here and there just to try to give it some variety behind the leaf there a little bit. Right along this edge, a little hit. And so, it's the variety of things that really kind of help. Now, that's pretty good for that color. There's some other darker kind of greens, I guess, from reflecting from the top. So I'm going to grab just a touch of an avocado green on that same brush, all mixed in with those other colors, because it's all blending anyway. And then it's just beyond this area right here, and I'm just going to kind of, it's a little more of a subtle kind of thing that kind of dapples like that. And then I can throw some other little dapplings in there, like that. Now, I'm not going to blend that in yet because I have another color I'm going to use. Now, I'm going to go with almost a pure turquoise with just a hint of King's Blue on top of it. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to kind of work it's right here up to the edge of this leaf. Let me get that and work some of this darker blue. Kind of come up in between there. And you kind of lighten some of it up a little bit right there. Right there. Nice. And let's get some more. Make that color just a little bit more prominent. I got some nice color on there now. So right in this area, it's pretty strong. So let's just do that. And then there's some subtle blues over here. I can pull in, and we can dapple that in and then make little shapes and whatnot. Let it fade off up this way a little bit. And then we'll do the same thing down here a little bit. There we go. Now I'm going to clean that brush off. And I'm going to use that same brush, just going to clean it off a little bit, that's all. I hope you guys can hear me. I don't know how my audio sounds. I could be totally silent right now. I have no idea. So I'm trying to see, why don't you go back to, I swear it's ridiculous. I cannot find anything on Facebook. I can't see that I'm live. I see nothing. So I am assuming I'm live, but I don't know what's going on. I really, truly don't. It doesn't look like I'm live over here. So this could all be going either for not or not. Unfortunately, I do not know. So I'm going to continue whether I've got a real live show going or not. I assume I have a live show, but who knows? Okay, so unfortunately, I just can't seem to find a way to get, my Facebook to go on live and see what's going on at the same time. I'm sure I'll get past that curve eventually, but right now, not so much. Right now, I still got some learning to do out here with some of this stuff. Alrighty, now I'm going to take that same one and clean it off just a little bit better. And once again, I'm going to come in. Let me actually go over here now, and with some of that other color, because I want to get a little dappled effect in here a little bit too, just a little bit, just to kind of make sense that it's dappling all in the same area. There you go, like a little wind blew through there or something. Something. Okay, now cleaning that brush off good, and then I'm not going to overstroke it now. I'm just going to come give it a couple of shots real quick, not too much, and just work your way down. Doesn't matter. There you go. Just work it in. There we go. There's some fairly nice colors. Now what you can do also that makes it kind of look like water is you can pull down a little bit if you want. If you wanted to stroke down a little bit, that kind of helps it look like water sometimes, but I think I just like it this way. See, now we're getting that second time across. That's coming in real subtle and looks more like water a little bit. Let's come in here. Let's get rid of some of these hard strokes in here. Kind of feather that all across there. And then once again, that's a leaf and all that. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut in these lily pads here. Now I'm going to start, this lily pad is very much cooler. It's in the cool light. This one's in the cool light. There's some cool light down here. And maybe a little bit here. So almost all the four corners like a vignette, there's some cool light. So I mixed a cooler green, and I don't know how accurate it is to the green in there, but that's a little bit cooler green. Let's see if you can see that. Can you even see that? There we go. I'm sorry, I had it behind something. So there's a little bit of a cooler green, and that's going to start up in here. And once again, don't paint every little last bit of it. Just come up and grab pieces of it, because that's how nature works. It's not all just uniform like that. The lighting is all over the place. So a couple nice big shots like that, that looks good enough to me. Over here, there's very little, but maybe just a little bit right in this corner here. I'll pull it in from the edge, and I'll kind of pull my brush in a little bit like that. And I come over again, some more dark. Now down in this corner, we've got a real nice dark edge right along here, so I'm not going to let that get lost. I'm going to be light about it, but I'm just going to remember that it's there for when I put in other darker colors. Now in this case, that's a pretty dark one, so I'm going to throw in a little bit of darker paint in with it and kind of work that in a little bit, because that's just a little bit darker than the rest of them. And that looks pretty good, and it kind of swoops the way the lily pad is shaped. So I'm going to go with the shape of the lily pad with those strokes there. Okay, then this one, once again, let's kind of just feather them in. All right, a little bit. Just stroke there. There we go. And maybe just a little touch up top there. All right, I don't really see, there's a little bit, maybe something darker right in here, right over in here by the edge of this, where the dot is. And I could even darken that dot a little bit. And then we go, we'll kind of feather that off, we'll kind of feathers off this way. There we go. All right. Alrighty then. So, well, I'll tell you, I wish I knew how to see if anybody was on this thing. I really can't tell. It's really, really frustrating. I can't seem to get anything to happen here. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea if I'm live. I just don't know. Okay, so meanwhile, continuing on with the painting. Sally forth. That's the way to do it. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead now. I'm going to work in a little bit of a lighter tone on some of that green. So I worked some lighter color. You can see it there on the palette where I've blended like a green. There's a kind of a more of a cooler green off to one side where the turquoise and whatnot was. So on that same side of the palette, there's some white there, and I popped a little bit of that. And I'm going to come over into this edge right here, and there's just a little touch of stuff happening here. Just a little bit, just a little touch. I don't want to go too much. Just like that, a little bit. Pull it down. That's it. Don't want to go too far right now. And that's it. I'm just trying to hit some highlights. Okay? So now we're going to go back over, and I've got that same cooler tones up here, and there's a little something happening there. There's a nice little bright spot and a hump right there. So I'm going to kind of go like that and then hump it over again a little bit and then kind of blend that back like the light's peeling back off of it. So you can go like that. Yeah. Yep. Bring that kind of in. Okay. And then as it goes off to the side here, again, it darkens up a little bit, but I think it mixes in just a touch of avocado green. So I put a little bit of avocado green on the one corner, on the far corner here, and just kind of settle that in. There we go. Okay, we don't have to beat it up. Just like that. And there you go. There's your lily pad in there, and we'll make it a lily pad in a little bit. We'll blend it out, and we'll have little touches of water droplets and stuff, and that'll make it look like a lily pad. Okay, so now I'm going to go to this one. This one now has got, well, let's go just straight right from the top. This one now has got some nice avocado green and a more of a highlight right in here. So what I'm going to do is keep this brush. I'm just going to take some of the paint off, and then I'm going to work into my avocado green, darker avocado green. And I don't mind because this one, of course, is not pure avocado, so I don't mind using the same brush. And as I go along, more of this avocado color will kind of disappear now. There's going to nice highlight right along the edge here, and it kind of works in right into here a little bit. And then there's a little lip, so let me turn my brush like that, give that a little lip. See, I turned my brush, I took it flat, and then I turned it like that. And that's how you work a flat. Well, it's one way you work a flat anyway. And then there's another little something going on here, so I'm going to kind of do that, pull these lines up. Got a little strong there, but that's okay. That's all right. Doesn't bother me really. It looks all right. And then some of that same kind of color, maybe just right in here. Just right in there, just to kind of give it a little highlighted lip there. Yeah, that's fine. All right. And I like to blend that off a little bit better, but see if I can just pull this one time out. There you go. It's a little better. Kind of pull it from the edge of this lip right here. There we go. Not too bad. Okay, now the next leaf forward. Let's keep working our way forward. This one's going to be more of a brown leaf, but I'm going to cut in the shape of it anyway. Just right there, just so I know where the top is a little bit. Maybe give it a little bit more. There we go. Now that's a little bit of a more of a brownish, that same color that was kind of in the reflection, but it's pretty strong. I'm going to be bad boy and use the same brush because once again, I want that color to be dulled down. I don't want it to be real strong, so I don't mind doing that and working it on the same paintbrush because I don't mind dulling that color down. It's what I'm after, so I might as well just keep going with the same brush. There's a little ridge or little edges on there. I don't want to go too crazy. Right there, and I can just pull it right up over that one. And there we go. Now the piece is starting to come together. It's starting to look a little bit more like a painting. I imagine you guys can start to be able to see a little something, but I don't know. Maybe it's pitch black. it looks pretty dark on the screen over there. I tell you right now, I can't see really anything. But in any case, we're going to be hitting some brighter colors here in just a minute. So let me go back now with that same brush, work it back into the green. It's good and dulled down now, and then I can kind of come over here and just kind of just work that green, just lightly touch it a little bit. Get some of that bluer green back from the back and work our way back forward. And I'll kind of kill some of that along the way. And there we go. Now I'm going to move in such a way that it looks, the actual shape of the leaf goes this way. So we're just shaping that in. There we go. And once again, I don't need it too hot or anything like that. It's kind of in the background anyway. And I'll come even with that same brush and just go ahead and blend that in a little bit. There we go. Now, I'm going to come in and cut a leaf in over here. Now, this one's kind of got that same thing going. It's cutting right on across some of this blue, which is kind of cool. So let me just kind of give him a shape. I want it too far out right there. Right there. Now, I'm going to grab some kind of a bright yellow, basically, is what I'm going to grab. And I'm going to do that with another brush because I don't want to kill the yellow. I want the yellow to look nice. So let me get about the right size brush. I'm going to go with this brush, about the same size, about a 1-inch flat. And I'm just going to come get some pure yellow. This is a cadmium light. And I'm going to come right here. It's going to be a little shocking, but just a little bit. There you go. But it's a lot of dark color. Remember I painted that dark color underneath there? Well, that helped. So now let me kind of give it a push. Grab some more of that yellow. Try to get a good shot of light right there. Right there. There we go. Now I got a good shot of light, and this comes this way. That, like that. There we go. That, kind of go like that. There we go. And I'll come back a little later and hit that with some more yellow, just to pop her up a little bit. But right now, not bad. Okay. While I've got that yellow on there, I'm going to come in and I'm just going to give a little edge, little lip right here. Just a little one. And then I'm going to come back to my dark brush and I'll blend that edge in. Right, nice like that. Like that. Follow it through. Just to give a little bit more of a lip to that thing. And I can do the same thing here. Even though it's bright green, I can go ahead and, doesn't matter, the edge can be burned up. So I can just come like that, right along that, and do the same thing again. Just kind of take this dark. There we go. Now we got a little bit of a lip coming off of that one. We can even throw another little sense of a lip right there. There you go. So I got some little lips coming off these things. Now I'm going to take the same dark brush, the one I'd use for the darks, and I'm going to, I've got a nice kind of a weird brownish mix of color here for this leaf again. This one I'm going to throw a little bit more yellow in, just a little bit, kind of a cad yellow mixed with a little orange. And I'm going to come here, I'm going to pull that down, go to this edge, and just like that. Now I'm going to work these down. I'm not going to work them all into the same, kind of going to go in and out of each other a little bit. So there's veins and stuff in between, you know what I'm saying? And I don't mind that it's peeling the paint off at the edge. That's fine. And here, down. There we go. Blend all that down a little bit like that. There we go. Now we sort of got a little bit of a place for the little veins to go. And then I'm not going to pull it all the way to the bottom. I'm going to be very careful down here because I want to leave some dark where it's shaded underneath. That's not bad. I can take some of that color now and I can throw in some little veins in here, you know, just real quick. And they're going to come from the top and they're going to kind of fall off a little bit. And they're going to split and do their thing. It's kind of a big brush to do this with, but that's all right. We're trying to be quick here. I don't want to be at this all day. I'm driving you guys nuts. So I'm going to go with the feel there. There we go. So we got the subtle feel of the edge of this, and I can come in now. Let me grab a good dark color. Come right along this edge. Just get that edge. Now, rather than having it so hard like that, I'm just going to come to this edge inside edge, the edge that's against the leaf, not the one that's against the background, and pull it in so it doesn't have just a ripped edge there. And I might kind of do the same thing over here, kind of settle this down a little bit. There you go. Okay, so now we've got another subtle piece on the canvas. I know you guys really, I don't know if you can even see this. It looks pretty black on the on the screen that I'm looking at, but that's okay. You'll see stuff popping. This is mostly the dark stuff we're working through anyway. And it's mostly the dark stuff we're working through. Now, I'm going to come back over to this leaf down here now, down the bottom, and he's got an edge coming right up here. And I've kept it pretty dark because I don't want to go too crazy, but I do want an edge there. Let's get a little bit lighter than that. Just a little edge there. There we go. It's a little something. And once again, I'm working that shape of it all coming into the center. And I'm going to leave that fairly dark. And I think it's got a little touch of avocado there, a little bit. So I'm going to get a little on the edge here, a little bit. A little piece. Let's make it blend in there. Maybe have some that fall off over here. Okay, and then I'm going to go back to that cooler blue again. Mix it black right back in on the brush, and just kind of touch over and blend. And once again, I don't want it to go too far because it's just a little highlight right there. There's not much happening beyond that. So I'm just going to go like that, and then I'm just going to kind of blend it in subtly. Just kind of like that. Okay. All right. Now we're going to start hitting some brighter colors here pretty soon. I'm going to take some of this avocado green now, and I'm going to kind of pull it over here a little bit, some of it. Let's give it some shape to the edges of this leaf right here by doing that. Just come over, ding, ding, dong. There you got a couple of shapes, and you got a nice edge here. Okay. Let's take that up. Kind of curves around that stem, that base right there. So I want it to come around each side a little bit. There you go. And then it kind of curves down that way. All right, and then this kind of comes up this way, and kind of comes little things happening and whatnot in here. Let's again pull some of this and smooth it in so you don't have a line there. I can pull that in. You see now it kind of disappears and you have just an edge rather than a line. And I'm going to kind of blend all this in a little bit. I'm going to blend it in a little bit over here. Remember that circle is right here. So I want to, and it gets darker towards the circle. So I'm going to be working the lights from this edge kind of out, back in towards the circle. All right, and kind of pulling them all in right towards this radius right here. And I don't mind that stripe. I don't mind that stripe either. Kind of gives it some character. Okay, now there's another bright. Now we're talking. Yeah, another real nice bright avocado kind of color, and that's right there. And then once again, let's get that, pop it up and down and get a little edge on that leaf right there. Weep. And then remember, I painted some dark color right over here, and I can still see it. So I'm just going to peel it off right there. Let's get this green. Let's peel it off right there. There we go. Now once again, there's some light dying right here, and that's about where it is. Let me see, there's a little bright spot coming off here, right around the circle, top of the circle. Some of that is very cool. Some of these are cooler light color here. Come in, I'm going to kind of just cool that off a little bit so it's not so warm in color. There we go. And now I'm going to continue to pull that off, and I don't want to go, I want to give it some feeling of streaks, so I'm kind of go like that, and this is going to kind of come up this way then, like that, just like that. Now I'm going to go over here. There's another leaf cutting in over here, and I'm going to, then this bottom of this leaf was black. I had a black area under it, so I want to make sure that shadow's still there. And then I'm just going to kind of come in here and just kind of not really go too crazy with any detail, just kind of smush it around and give it some variety, little shapes, and just kind of come in and just dab around a little bit like that. And now kind of pull it back out. Okay, that's nice. Okay, and I see some cooler colors in there too, so I'm going to come back in, and I'm going to throw some of these coolers in the middle here. Actually, get a good dark, cool, dark one here. Put a dark, cool spot right there. Fairly dark. Yeah, it's not dark enough. It's my fault. All right, there we go. And I'm going to pull pull some of these guys out a little bit again. We're going to go like that. Come right up the edge there. Just go over that way. There we go. Now we can kind of. There we go. Now, once again, now it's going to come in here and I'm just going to kind of blend it all. So it's a little more subtle than all that. Whoop! That's okay. I don't mind. I don't mind that at all. Just happy accidents. Just keep them coming. All right. Now, I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of that color, bring it up in there. Okay. So now we got a pretty good. Now there's a big bright spot on a leaf here. So I got a nice bright, almost lime-ish green up here. That's going to really stand out real nice. So let's take an edge of it there, edge of it there. Looks like that peels down over here. Then we got one that comes up this way. This one maybe peels down more like that. And that's it right there. Okay, now I'm going to just grab all that. And once again, let's work a couple little frilly edges on it there. That's nice. It's going to come over here. Now remember, it has a part that comes up here and misses. And it comes all the way. Then you got this lip here. Come down. It's all going to come to a point right there, like that, and then I'm going to peel it all back down once again to where it's kind of going. There's a center right here, and I want it to kind of peel off from that center. So we're going to kind of go this direction with everything. There we go. Okay. That's a very bright green. So I'm going to come in here. We're going to even hit some highlights in here. Just to really give it, there's some highlights coming across. There's all kinds of speckly things and stuff happening in here. So now I'm going to come in. I'm going to start giving some texture, some highlight, just some little things happening on in, and then take that same bright green, mix it with a little bit blue, and try to cool it down over here. That's good. More blue, or that cooler blue. I mean cooler green, a little more blue in it. And here we go. We're moving. And I don't know how I'm doing on time. Let's look. We're now 37 minutes into the painting. I think I'm going to make it. Okay. So now I'm going to get some more of this darker blue. There's a little bit of black left there, so I'm going to let that come up. And there's a lip right here again. And that's it. This is going to peel out. All like I said, it's going to all peel out kind of this way. There we go. And there she is. Pretty good. There we go. Okay. So I left that little hole there. That can be filled with, there's a little brown spot. I'll probably fill that in. I'll just leave it black for now. I can put a little bright little thing around it though, just because it kind of does that a little bit. Just like that. And then when I paint it in, you'll see. I'm going to kind of peel these again away in the direction that they should be going. There we go. Kind of like that. Kind of. And I'll just light over it all. And I'll light over it all just to kind of blend it. Right in here, I'm just going to kind of dabble that. I'm not going to go too hard with it. Dabble it in. There we go. Just kind of dabble that in. Yeah, just kind of touch it in a little bit there and just kind of get some shapes and kind of work them out into patterns. They're kind of coming out this way, kind of radial around a little bit. And then once again, I'm going to come pull this all out a little bit like that. And we can put some streaks and stuff later. Okay. So now, let's see here. Yeah. I just killed a little bit of that dark corner right there. I didn't mean to do that. That's all right. Use my fingers and get it out of there. Let me take a little napkin and come over. It doesn't matter. I can put some darks there, but still. Shouldn't have killed that little highlight, that little shadow right there. There we go. Okay, now let's go to the bottom of this leaf, which has definitely got more orangish color in it. So I'm going to kind of pull a little of that right there. That, kind of like this, along the edge. There we go. And then once again, it's got kind of those, let's see, this is going to come down right to that edge. There we go. And I need to leave that spot dark underneath to where it's, you know, obviously kind of lifted up from there. And then this leaf that's, there we go. Like that. Trying to to give it an underside. You see what I'm saying? Now, this top edge is going to have a little bright rim to it, so that's kind of cool. And I'll be looking for that later. Let me kind of, right now, I'm just trying to give it a little light off the top there, and then blending that on down. That's good. Okay, just like that. Now we got that kind of lip there, and then there's another one right up at the top here. Right there, it's kind of doing its thing, a little lippy. And then this is just part of the. This is just part of the actual lily pad going up underneath, so I don't mind if that shadow, let's try to work it there, work where it looks like it is in the shadow. There we go, a little bit. Could have done better, but that's okay, could have done worse. Now I'm going to take a little bit of this brown, and I'm going to come over here and hit the stem, and let me hit it a little bit brighter on this side. Let me get some dark purple over on this side just to kind of give it some color. And now we get some darker, kill it off a little bit. There we go. Okay, now comes the pièce de résistance. We're going to do the flower, and that's the key to the whole thing right there. So the flower now, I'm going to be working it with white first. I come with a brush, and I'm going to make sure I have all my shapes right, and I'm going to work white, pure white first, because I want those highlights are the most important part of the whole piece. That's where everything happens. Everything's happening on the highlights. So basically, I'm going to come over and I'm going to do it kind of the same way I painted it before. See, there's this big guy here. He's coming out about like that. Like that. Ooh, I don't like this brush. It is fat. It is fat. There's no chisel edge there. Fat brush. When you're painting something like this, you need a chisel edge. A chisel edge is everything. Now this one's, to me, has some purple paint left on it a little bit, but that's okay because we're doing purple under. There we go. That's better. Now, if I seem to recall, we had one here, and then there's a highlight right here. Off of this guy, right there, and then there's a couple of them in here, and of course you got that bright section right in there. I gotta watch that leaf right there. There we go. There we go. And there's maybe a highlight or two. Little spots. Some from the bottom here. Bottom there. This will come from the top, a little bit on the top. A little brighter along the edge here where that green part is. And a little bit there. Okay, and then we've got this top one here. That one's pretty bright, so I'm going to bring it right on up. There we go. Okay, so we've got more or less some of the highlights of the flower kind of in place a little bit. That kind of a little strong there, but that's all right. We'll come back to that. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to very carefully now with another even smaller brush. I'm going to come down and I'm going to try to work some of these colors in. Now I've got various colors of these, all the shades in here. So they range from like pinks to like more of a light violet to almost a purple. So we've got all those colors mixed. You can see them on the palette. So I'm going to start with the lighter kind of pink or magenta colors and see what we got here. I'm going to kind of come right in here and come off this edge a little bit, and I'm going to bring them down. And remember, there's one in front of it right there, and this guy also. Let's just kind of get the shapes. This one's coming here, in front of that one. Okay, and this guy's got some color to him. It's not nothing. Okay, I need to speak louder. I'm talking to myself. Since I'm getting no feedback of any kind, it's kind of hard to keep myself motivated talking-wise here. I know that it's hard for you to believe that I can't keep talking, but even me. All right, now we're working some of those edges down a little bit. There we go. Put that in. Put some of these in. Just trying to get the shapes in a little bit. Okay, well, looks like I'm getting the shapes pretty close. Not bad. You know, I'm not going to win any awards with this painting, I know that, but still, for the most part, looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. Now we got some subtle things going on there, and then there's some things going on down in there. Okay, so now we're getting closer. Now I'm going to keep working in. Now I'm going to get some stronger paint and start working in the edges a little bit better now. Here, there. Good, pretty subtle on this side, and there's some pink, kind of lighter color in there. Very subtle down here, and it almost goes to a white. Okay, and then we've got some lighter pinks on the inside of these ones. So that's how we're going to differentiate them. Lighter pinks there, lighter pink coming up here, and all these ones. And keep that light pink coming up from the bottom. There's light kind of coming up through the flower. It gets lighter underneath. So I'm going to kind of come up into these areas and so I make it all happen. There we go. And then I'm going to stop short of this area because those are a different color, a little different color. So now let's go with now a little bit darker tone. Come in one more time. That's all right. It's okay because I am definitely going to work some purples in on top of this after. So I'm just doing these subtle pinks here underneath that are the underneath parts, and then we'll put more color on and we'll add some purple in there. I'm not going to go too far in here. I want to leave just a little bit of darkness right here along the edge of the rim so I can, you know, cells like there's a shadow down there, there's something there. There. And we're working all that in. There we go. Let's get that edge here. Okay, that's looking pretty good. Now, let's see, this edge here and this guy here needs to be fleshed out right there. There he is. Okay, this guy here kind of coming over this way. We have this guy kind of coming this really. Like that more. This guy come up here. This one here. And I'm going ahead and touching these with a little bit of color because I just want to identify where the shapes are. Okay, so now I'm going to go, how much time do we got left? We've got 12 minutes. I can do this. All right, now I'm going to take the purples and I'm going to come in here where there's much more purple and darker. Come in and purple that up. Huh? Yeah. And then same thing in the backs. Just kind of a little shadow there, maybe. Kind of move that. Let's do that again. There we go. Get a dark edge. There we are. Just a little more, a little point there. And then we got some colors coming off the bottom here again, like that. And then we're going to just keep color. There's going to be another leaf coming back there. Now we're going to have some kind of shadows underneath some of these guys in between, like right there, on this edge, on that edge, on that edge, and now you're going to start seeing things popping a little bit more as we do that. And this edge here, here, kind of back edge here. Let's get some paint kind of running out. There we go. Back edge, like that. pretty good there. Looking pretty good. Now we're going to get some of this hot magenta right here. Get some of that color. I'll work some of that into some of this here. Actually, color isn't doing too good. So too, let's get a new brush. We get it clean. Do a clean job. And let's just, there we go. A little more of that pink in there. Now we're going to blend these in a little bit better. Like that. Like that. From the back. Blending them from the back to the front. Here's one to the front. The front, that's in front of that one. That's in front of that one. There we go. Go like that. There we are. Nice. Now let's get some strong purples, colors in here. Let's kind of that one. All right. Sorry I'm being so quiet again. Probably good to need to shut up every once in a while anyway. I know they think that at work. Love you guys. Okay. And I do. I love my coworkers. They're awesome. They're all nice people and very talented. Okay, so more or less got that. It's not as perfect as I'd like it. Now I'm going to come in with one more brush. And we're going to come in and we're going to hit this background of these poppy reds right here. I'm just going to kind of pull that up quick, and I'm not going to beat it up too much. I'm just going to right to the edge there. There it is. That, and they're coming all the way down up under these leaves right here, and they're also in the foreground right there behind that leaf. That's why I left that dead a little bit. There we go. Okay. Now let's get one more shot. Now I'm going to use that fat brush that I didn't like before. And I'm going to give a little shot of a brighter kind of color right there. All right. And then we're going to go with super bright yellow. There actually is a kind of a mix. It's not the brightest yellow. It's already on the edge there. Now I'm going to get a pure brush and a pure yellow, because I don't want to taint this at all. No tainting. No tainting. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to hit that yellow with this bright yellow right in here where that white was. And there we go. Now, I could finish, let's see, how close are we to finishing here? It is currently, let's see, we have 7 minutes. Okay, so I can work on this a little bit more. I want to thank you guys for joining me today. I mean, I had a great time trying to pull this one off once again, kind of a challenge, but I'm thinking it's looking okay. I believe that when I, go back over it one more time, it'll look, it'll look right. But not too bad, not too bad. I could have done worse. I could have done better. I see one more thing that I need to do over here. Actually, let me pull that down a little bit. And I'm going to give a little dark spot. I kind of killed that dark spot up underneath, so let me kind of do that. There you go. And now I'm going to, let's see, there's a good strong purple right there and a strong one here. Kind of do that a little bit. Some of those colors in here, just kind of darken it up a little bit. There we go, just to kind of make it pop a little bit more along the edge there. There we go. That's not too bad. Now there's a little green highlight. I think that's going to be the last thing I throw in. It's going to be right over here. There's a little green leaf that comes up right there. And I like them right there. And let's give them a little lip on the edge. There we go. Come down. And we had some subtle essence of green coming right there. And I don't mind that either. Okay. Now, there's a one or two highlights that I kind of didn't get in here. So let's kind of get those again. And kind of come back in and fill that highlight in. So I kind of blew it out. And then we'll try to go to some of those highlights and try to pop that flower up a little bit with those highlights. Pop some of those out. See if that makes any difference. And I believe it does a little bit. Clean that edge right there. That one clean. That one clean. That one clean. All right, peoples. Well, that's what you can do in an hour. I mean, I can get, obviously it's got more to go, but let's see if we can peel it off here and see if you can see it a little bit better now. Let's see if we get some light on it. I don't know that you can see it, but there she is. Oil painting, done in an hour. Like I said, not as tricky as it could be, but not bad. Certainly enjoy painting on it. Not gonna beat myself up about what happened or didn't happen on it. I can throw in some other light and whatnot to try to just kind of give it a little bit of interesting bits here and there. Just here at the end as we're winding down. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you guys had fun. I hope you might have learned a little something. Maybe. And come join me next time. I'll try to do as many of these as I can over the course of the quarantine here. I didn't really want to use that word, but there you go. All right, well, join me when you can, and I'll be looking forward to seeing you guys again real soon. All right, guys, everybody have a great day. Let's see what time it is. Oh, I got 4 minutes. Okay, well, I'm just going to go ahead and pad it out to the hour, I guess. And let me go ahead and try to get just a little bit more. There's a little brown spot right in there. We talked about before. There she is. Put that there. And there was a little red lip I wanted to put on. So I'm going to go with that little red lip there. And there's a little red lip really kind of on this little bit too as it comes in. Let's see if we can get a little bit of something on this over here. And yeah, I like that. Let's see if we can pull some little veins or something down in there. That's kind of nice. There we go. That would really help get a little bit of that edge there. There we go. And that looks all pretty good to me. All right, guys. Well, join me next time, and I'm going to sign off for now. Thank you very much. I hope you got, there was even a broadcast going. I don't even know. I really, truly don't even know. Okay, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.